Spoken on the campaign trail, and you just alluded to it a little while ago about your ability to work with all sorts of people. And as a matter of fact, editorially, we've praised you for your alliances with folks from the other side of the aisle in addressing issues here in Colorado, such as the pine beetle and forest fires, and there's a bunch of stuff like that. But I've got to say, when you look at the national and international issues, and you check, your votes over the years you've been in the House, and in fact, our reporter M.E. looked at every vote taken by both you and Bob Schaefer during the 4 years in which your tenure overlapped, and his conclusion, and certainly my conclusion in looking at these various rating agencies, whether the left or the right, is that, on the one hand, Bob Schaefer was a very conservative congressman. His voting record was very conservative. And on the other hand, your record has been quite liberal, fairly partisan in terms of a comprehensive look. So I'm just asking, what justifies your telling Coloradan voters that you're a centrist, you're a pragmatist, you're a type of guy who looks for opportunities for bipartisan deals?
And that's a fair question. I think your position on the political spectrum is a lot more than a set of votes, number one, Vince. I also think you can use the term partisan when it comes to style and how you express yourself and how you communicate in the public square. I think you can be on my end of the spectrum, or where I stand on the spectrum, and not be a partisan per se. Third, if you look at my record, it is rife with successes in bipartisan fashion with Coloradans. And I can not bore you, but I can hopefully inspire you with that list. It's everything from the work Senator Allard and I did on Rocky Flats, not just to cleaning it up, but to setting aside as a wildlife refuge. It's the work I did with Congressman Heffley on the Armed Services Committee.
We really recognize that, and we really. I think the question we were thinking about the different role you'll have as a senator. There's a role you have today that is, a large constituent service role. There's a large watching out for the interests of your district, and when you're a senator, you're sort of dealing with national policy in a way that is a little bit different than a congressman, and I don't say that with any disrespect. So we were trying to look at.
we were ready.
Oh my God!
We were locked and loaded.
I don't think it has enough pages.
We were locked and loaded.
We don't take anything under 50 pages. So, can you take this back?
This is entirely.
So I was talking about things,
Sure.
Congressmen, that are more like these pressing national issues, whether it's abortion, national defense, the economy. Medicare, social taxes.
Have there been major issues, for example, in which you bucked your party's leadership and the majority of your party?
Sure.
Angered them in the way that whatever you think of John McCain, he actually has done that with Republicans on more than one occasion.
Let me speak generally. Let's come back to me and give you some specifics. Look, if you look, John, at where I've landed on some of these international concerns and some of these national debates, I think where you find me is in a pretty pragmatic place. Yes, I may land with more people in the Democratic Party than the Republican Party, but I think you see that same approach that I take, which is to solve problems, to be pragmatic, to be realistic. Look at my approach to the war. Look at my approach to the military. I think two prime examples. I thought the war, and Vince and I carried on a lot of correspondence, was a mistake. Have I spent a lot of time saying I told you so and riling people up about it and encouraging the divisive emotions that people have? No, I've said, how do we find a way forward here? And we can separate the war from the worry. We have to fund the troops in the theater. The Iraq Study Group initiatives that I engaged and actually triggered. Look, I said I thought Judge Roberts would serve effectively as the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. I did not.
Is he somebody you would have voted for?
Yes, I put that out there. I did not think Alito, because in part I thought the balance of the court ought to be maintained, met that same standard. But I think Judge Roberts has a working knowledge of the judiciary. He is fully engaged in it, obviously, and I thought he would be a strong advocate because he also has to serve as the lead spokesperson for the judiciary. And I worry about the fact that we have been underfunding and undersupporting the courts. Those are two examples. Just a few more on trade. I haven't voted for every trade agreement. I've had, frankly, more trouble with some of the multilateral agreements, but I voted for trade agreements. I think it would be important to have an up or down vote on Colombia. Whether we have that or not, I don't know, and I don't know where I would fall out on. But I think it's important to have that vote. I do know that the Colombia agreement, as it's now structured, is mostly about opening Colombia to American products and services. Right now, Colombia's economy has full access to ours. Those are some examples that come off the top of my head.